This video broke me. My reputation is at stake. But how did this Oktoberfest beer test drive me to despair? Let me first explain what Oktoberfest beer actually is. Only Munich beers that are served at Oktoberfest can actually be called Oktoberfest beer. Although the beer from the Giesinger Brewery is actually a Munich beer, it is not served there and must therefore be called Festbier, festival beer. The whole politics behind why, how and when a Munich beer is really a Munich beer would be going too far here. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. In any case, Oktoberfest beer in its current form only really found its way into Oktoberfest in the 1950s. The festival began in 1810 with a royal wedding between Prince Ludwig and Therese von Sachsen-Hildburghausen. At that time, horse racing was the main focus, but beer was already available, just not a special Oktoberfest beer. Since brewing was only permitted between the end of September and the end of April due to the lack of refrigeration technology at the time, it was necessary to resort to a beer that could be stored for long periods, and was therefore strong. Märzen, which was already brewed in March, hence the name. It was amber in color and very malty. In 1872, the Spaten brewery introduced a stronger Märzen for the first time, with an alcohol content between 6 and 6.5%. It was the first Oktoberfest beer to be brewed especially for the festival. In 1894, Spaten came up with another innovation that revolutionized the entire beer culture in Munich: Münchner Helles. Today, this is the typical everyday beer in Munich, a light golden lager. Dark, unfiltered beers went out of fashion. This also had consequences for Oktoberfest beer. As a result, golden yellow festival beer began to be brewed in the 1950s. It is perceived as lighter and more drinkable than the old Märzen, and is more similar to Munich's everyday Helles beer. Nevertheless, it has an alcohol content of 6%, making it stronger than the normal Helles. And that makes it dangerous, even for experienced Helles drinkers. Since the 1970s, it has completely replaced the old Märzen beer at Oktoberfest. So now let's move on to the blind testing. Hello there, so it's time to answer the age-old question, which Oktoberfest beer is the best. And I have all the Oktoberfest beer here, the 6 big breweries: Augustiner, Löwenbräu, Paulaner, Spaten, Hacker-Pschorr and Hofbräuhaus. Those are the big 6, and I have a white horse here as well, and that's Giesinger Bräu, which is a middle big brewery here in Munich, and maybe in the future they will have a tent on the Oktoberfest, who knows. So it's at least a brewery that can be, and this test will be 100% objective because I do the test, and to prove that I will tell you which beer is which beer, so that I can prove how good I am as a beer expert, which is for sure very, very good. Okay, let's start. So let's start the first one, and they're also a little bit different from the colors. So this one is very like amber, honey colored. Number 1. Okay, let's try. Okay. Okay, so I give it, I don't know, as a start as a 7, and I'm saying that's Löwenbräu. Number 1, 7. Okay, let's have the second beer. A little bit stronger. I would say that's Hacker-Pschorr, and do I like it better than I like it a little bit, as 7.5. Now this one. A little bit milder, I would say. Yeah, very close, so close together. So I would say that's That's Augustiner, and I give it, yeah, also like a, yeah, maybe a 8. It's very, 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 very objective what I do here. And the next one, I think that's the strongest. They all get stronger, maybe. Yeah, that's. I would say that's Spaten. No, Paulaner. I mean, that's Paulaner, and yeah, I also give it an 8. And this one. Okay, that's milder. I say that's the Giesinger. So that's 5, and I actually quite like it, so I give it an 8.5. I think that's the one I like the most. Now this one is lighter again. Let's try this one. It's even lighter. That's, let's say that's the Hofbräuhaus. 6, and actually also like it quite a lot. I give it an 8. And now the last one, which is of course Spaten, because that's the only beer left. Okay, so I said Spaten, but yeah, I give it a 7.5. So in my objective testing, I said that number 5, this one is the best. Okay, how many do I have correct?
None.
You see, I'm a big expert. Okay, so what's the first one? So the first one is Giesinger. Okay, okay. The problem is, like always, the first beer you have to find a baseline. So maybe I'm a little bit hard with Giesinger and to give it a 7. Yeah, let me try again. No, but it's not. It's okay. So the second one?
This is Paulaner.
That's Paulaner. Okay. Okay, and then? Löwenbräu. Okay. What did I say here? Augustiner. Okay.
Hofbräuhaus.
That's Hofbräuhaus. Spaten. Okay, so that's the best one. Okay, this one?
Augustiner.
Augustiner. Okay.
Hacker-Pschorr.
Hacker-Pschorr. Okay, so that's kind of surprising that Spaten is again the winner, because when we did the Helles test with Mike, I think Spaten was again also the winner. Maybe I'm also used to drink Spaten at the Oktoberfest, because we often, when we were younger, we often went to the Spaten cell, to the Schottenhammel, and had Spatenbier there. So maybe I'm just used to that beer. Okay, so this is like the beer test here, Oktoberfest beer test, and I mean they're all good, and the important thing is you have to find a seat at the Oktoberfest, find a place, and then you'll be fine. And after the first liter, you don't care about the differences. Okay, that was the test. Okay. Yeah. Now that my reputation is completely ruined and I will be laughed at by the beer drinkers of Munich from now on, maybe you'll still want to give me a chance. Here's my homepage and my email address if you want me to show you the parts of Munich that I know well. See you in the next video. Philip.